It's great to be here tonight, and our chapter president, John Royal, is going to do a couple of brief introductions if we can get to our seat, and we will start the program. Glad to see our honorees are here, and we'll get started momentarily.
Everyone can please find a seat so we can get started.
Hi, how are you?
You've had to wait for a while.
Great, thank you.
What I'd like to do first is acknowledge the presence of a number of distinguished visitors who took time out of their busy schedules to be here with us tonight on this grand occasion. What I would like to do is to go through the list and have everyone stand, and then if you could hold your applause until the end of the introduction, then we could take care of that. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of General Baker. General Baker's life has exemplified the principles upon which the National Lawyers Guild was founded. Just to mention a few brief things, he was a founder of the League of Revolutionary Black Workers back in the 1960s, which is a group that has been recognized worldwide for the way in which it combined the civil rights struggle for racial equality and the struggle of workers for fair treatment in the workplace. In addition, subsequently he became a Ford Motor Company employee, became active in the union there, and was eventually the chairperson of the foundry division of UAW Local 600. That's General Baker. In addition, we also have present tonight Al Folger, who is an official of the United Steelworkers Union, District Number 2. We'd also like to acknowledge Sheila Cockrell, who for many years represented the Progressive Citizens of Detroit on the Detroit City Council, is currently retired from that position and is a professor at Wayne State University. Also present with us tonight is the Honorable Judge Abram Cohn of the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Michigan. We are also honored to have tonight the presence of United States Congressman John Conyers Also present is Tony Jenkins, who is the president of the Michigan State Bar. And Sandra Jenkins, who is an official of the Detroit Institute of the Arts. The national president of the National Lawyers Guild is David Gespes. He is here tonight from Birmingham, Alabama. Another lifelong activist that we are very proud to have here with us tonight is Selma Good, who is the treasurer of the Michigan Universal Health Access Association and is also the executive director of the West Side Mothers. Also present is Elliot Hall, retired vice president of Ford Motor Company, who was recognized at that time as being one of the 50 top Black American corporate executives, and is also now an attorney with Dr. McGuire. Frank Joyce, who is a lifetime activist in the Southeast Michigan area and is currently the president of the Michigan Coalition for Human Rights. Also present is Chief Justice Marilyn Kelly of the Michigan Supreme Court. Teresa Kelly, the publisher of the Michigan Citizen newspaper. Administrative Law Judge for the state of Michigan, Jan Lementer. The Executive Director of Michigan Legal Services, Marilyn Mulane. Administrative Law Judge for the state of Michigan, Doyle O'Connor. As most of you know, one of the big projects of the National Lawyers Guild of Southeast Michigan is the Sugar Law Center for Workers' Rights. We are pleased to have here tonight the Executive Director, Tova Perlmutter. And the Legal Director, John Philo. Also present is Dean Robb, who was an early leader of the National Lawyers Guild. And I don't know how much, I could talk about him all night. His biography is for sale over here on the table, just hot off the press, just been published. And also, another one of our founders, Ernie Goodman, his biography, The Color of Law, was just recently published and is also for sale here tonight. Professor Robert Sudler of Wayne State University Law. Professor Gary Mabel of University of Detroit Mercy Law School. The Reverend Bill Riley Kellerman, pastor of St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Detroit. And I'd like to acknowledge two law firms that play a key role in the activities of the National Lawyers Guild here in Michigan, and who would generously contribute to the support of this event tonight. The Goodman Hurwitz Law Office. Could everyone from that office please stand? And the Office of the Constitution Litigation Associates with Cynthia Heenan and Buck Davis. Here tonight on the 72nd anniversary of the annual dinners of the National Lawyers Guild.
Buck Davis's article is in here.
During the last few days, I've talked to a lot of people who feel that this is a dark time in the United States to be a progressive. And I want to suggest to you that if you want to do something about the state of political affairs in the United States, you've come to the right place. Since its founding in 1937, the National Lawyers Guild has played a critical role in providing legal support, legal defense for progressive grassroots activists in the United States in support of a whole wide variety of issues. And we continue to play that role today. I encourage you not to become cynical or apathetic about this change in events in our country. I was thinking earlier today about Upton Sinclair's novel, The Jungle, which was written a little over 100 years ago today. And thinking about the conditions people lived in the early 1900s, when Jim Crow segregation reigned in the South, when black people could be murdered with impunity, when workers had no right to organize, had no right to get a living wage, no benefits, when poor people were literally starving in the streets, when people had no access to health care, no access to retirement benefits, when women had no rights. It has only been a little over 100 years since those days. And those changes didn't come about primarily because of electing representatives who would pass laws in state legislatures. I remember once I heard on a TV show, they said, the modern civil rights movement began when the U.S. Supreme Court issued its decision in Brown versus Board of Education. And I said to myself, what a complete travesty. What a reversal of reality. What a revision of history. Because we all know that Brown versus Board of Education came out of a grassroots civil rights movement. The demand of people all over this country that they would not tolerate Jim Crow segregation any longer and that things had to change. And it was the courts and the political system that responded to those mass movements, not the other way around.